Welcome to another edition of Blending the Family. I am your host, Tommy Maloney, and yes, it's another edition of podcasting in the car, podcasting from the car, speaking thoughts out loud when you'll have cars next to you think you're just nuts, or hopefully they think you're on the phone. But anywho, first of all, I want a big shout out to all my friends at the day job. As a solopreneur, you still have to bring in some kind of income when you're growing, or in my case, been growing for too many years. And this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about momentarily what this episode is all about. Excuse me. All right, and just to let you know that the engine light is still on. Engine light is still on. And hopefully, a couple paychecks we'll be able to get that fixed, and then we'll figure out what's going on with the car. Yeah, I'm not a car person. Not a car person. I can set up a podcast for you, but I can't figure out my own car. One of my favorite podcasts is Tim Ferris. And Tim Ferris has a new book out, Tribes of Mentors, I believe, off the top of my head. But one of the people, not only did he have in the book, but he interviewed recently for his podcast, and that person is now one of my heroes, is Terry Crews. If you're not familiar with Terry Crews, you can find him out there on all the social media platforms. He's an actor. He is a former NFL player. He is something I did not know, or someone I did not know as far as his talents, other than seeing him as an actor. Oh, he was, I think he was the original Old Spice guy. But that Chris Rock show, Everybody Hates Chris, he was the dad. And anyway, he's an awesome artist. He also designs furniture, and my gosh, this guy is just so talented. And here's where the podcast is going on this episode. I'm gonna get to my point. And Terry Crews was talking about when he was in high school, he played basketball, and during one of it wasn't the finals, but it was I guess district, and he stole the ball, went down to make the layup, put the ball into the hoop, and it rolled out. And it really did devastate him. But here's his point, and here's my point for many of us. And I'm learning this through my kids. I'm learning some great life lessons through my kids. And I don't know where they get their resilience. I don't know where they get their confidence. I'm just so jealous of how tough our kids are these days. So Terry Crews misses the game-winning shot. Oh yeah, it was one of those. 5, 4, 3, 2, and ball goes out of the hoop. Season over, man. Season over. But what Terry Crews ended up having his realization was he took his shot. He took his shot. And with the Wonder Twins, Becca and Connor, Becca is 16 and my wife Ann's daughter, aka my bonus daughter. And then Connor, 15, or soon to be 15. Can't keep up with all these. I'm at the stage of my life where I can't remember how old our kids are. All I know is our oldest, Betsy, I know she's going to be turning 21 here very soon. But I don't even know how old I am these days. I really don't. I don't care anymore. But I digress. But taking your shot, and again with Becca and Connor, with two of them playing sports, competitive sports, Becca right now playing high school basketball and Connor playing hockey. Last night Becca had a game, the whole team had a game, but I remember when I was playing Little League Baseball, and I don't know about you, but when I played Little League Baseball, that bat never left my shoulder. I was too scared to swing it. I didn't have the confidence inside of me to be able to swing at a baseball. I either struck out or got hit. And then I'd get on base, and I really wanted to steal. But I was too scared. Because I never took my shot. I was too scared to take my shot. And maybe there's something ingrained in me, and maybe this is why I'm so passionate about serving others in the divorce space, because my gosh, my thoughts are racing right now of where I want to go. But confidence, even after going through divorce, okay? So you go through the marriage breakup, and you go through all the paperwork, and maybe you had to go face lawyers, maybe you had to go face courts. It really puts a lot of negative energy into you. You go from maybe one day being Tigger to Eeyore, and you go through that Eeyore stage of woe is me, I have this dark cloud over me, nothing ever seems to go right. I'm too scared to take those chances. I'm too scared to take my own shot. One of the things I really want to get across with you on this podcast, especially this episode, is, and this is me as well. I mean, here it is, 5:51. My clock is 5 minutes fast in my car, and I don't do math very well, as my kids would tell you. But here I am, it's dark outside, I'm going through construction traffic right now. I have one headlight out, as I stated earlier, I have an engine light on, I'm freaking out inside. But these are the dumbass choices that I have made in my life. Because instead of taking my shot, here I am. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm driving through the construction traffic right now. Oh my gosh. But I haven't taken my shot. I really haven't, had that moment of leap of faith where I know it's going to be okay. I know, I mean, heck, I had a townhome, and the day that I finally sold it, I went home, and there was I can't think of that. What are those papers? Oh, I can't think. Anyway, I was behind. I was super behind on paying my mortgage. So, hold on, let me grab some coffee real quick. Cinnamon. Did you put cinnamon in your coffee yet? So I was really behind on my mortgage. And I was so honored that God found people that wanted to buy my townhome. And that helped immensely. And I was just like freaking out. But those are those moments in life where I know I've been to the bottom. there's a way to get out of this. You know, you've been unemployed before, I'm sure, but you found another job. Now, granted, it might not have been the perfect job, but you found something. And there are those times where, oh my gosh, I'm out of work, I'm never going to find a job again. And lo and behold, you find something else. And it might not be in the career that you wanted, but at least it's a paycheck. At least this is money coming in to support your family. But what is it that really drives you? What is it that you really want to be doing? What is that opportunity that is going to allow you to take your shot? What is it? You know, this morning as I was packing up, excuse me, I was grabbing my laptop because I have a weekly column that I'm halfway done. I have to get it turned in by tonight for the Good Men Project. And as I was packing up my stuff, I noticed I had a couple of emails, and I'm like, oh, I got to take care of these. I got to take care of these emails. And as I'm sitting there taking care of these emails, going, what time is it? Oh, crap, I'm late. Oh, well. But that's what I'd rather be doing. I don't care if it's at 5:30 in the morning. Taking care of emails, setting up podcast guests, handling all the social media for the podcast. That's what I'd rather be doing at 5:30 in the morning than packing up my bag. And as I was packing up this morning, I realized I forgot my oatmeal. I didn't grab anything for lunch. Today is my long day. After work, I pick up Connor because they have conditioning before practice, so I won't be home until before 11 o'clock p.m. And I failed to prepare. I did not prepare, so I'm prepared to fail the rest of my day because I have no food. Grab no food, no energy. So how am I going to, finish up an article? I mean, yeah, I'll probably have to stop somewhere, but my point here is I'd rather be doing the thing that I love, regardless of pay, than having a day job. And again, it's my own fault. It's the choices I have made. You know, going back to Terry Crews, the choice he made was, I'm going to attempt to make this layup. I'm going to attempt to hopefully win the game for our team. And he didn't. But as he said in the podcast, and as I'm quoting him again, he took his shot. He took that shot. With the kids, here's what I'm learning with the kids is that, let me start with Betsy. Betsy is super intelligent. She's a very, very your typical A personality because she knows what she wants in life. She knows the path. I mean, she wants to be in the medical field, and I damned anybody gets in her way because they're going to feel her wrath. And I know she's going to be successful. I know she's going to achieve that goal. You know, she is hard working, not just student, but, you know, she works as well. So she goes to school. She works. And I don't have that A personality drive. And there are times where I wish I had that. And again, especially watching her, you know, her days in high school where, you know, she'd come home from, for example, volleyball practice or just come home from school And whatever she did not finish up at school, she'd be right to it. That, no turning on the TV, no turning on Netflix, none of that. She would get right to it. And it's again, watching from afar, watching somebody who has that drive, that energy to say, this is what I want to do. My goal right now is to finish up my homework. Because if I don't finish up my homework, the big picture, as Dr. Stephen Covey and Dr. Wayne Dyer talk a lot about when they were alive, was think from the end. And in Betsy's case, thinking from the end is being a physician's assistant and helping and serving others in that capacity. With Becca last night, basketball, I've watched her grow up in this sport where she didn't have the confidence to take shots. Even when there was a wide open lane, when there was a wide open basket, she didn't have the confidence yet to take those shots. Last night, oh my gosh, I got to witness as a parent, her growing up, her learning that it's okay to take those shots and miss. And her first shot of the night, she made a 2-pointer. Did she miss some other shots? Yeah, but she also made a 3-pointer. And I never had that confidence at that age, 16. I still struggle with confidence. I still struggle with, wanting that leap of faith and wanting to take, my shot. If you follow me on Instagram at Blending Family, you'll notice I do not do a lot of video content, even though I know video is huge. When I'm talking to friends who have side businesses, that's one of the things I recommend to them, is using video content. Because with mobile these days, we spend so much time on our phones, and I'm guilty of it too. I love watching video content. But I'm just not confident enough to put video out there. And a lot of the people I follow on social media, they use video content, and I love it. They do a great job. Going back to Becca, last night, unfortunately, the team lost. And you can see the little things, why they lost. They only lost by 2 points. But watching not just Becca, but watching a lot of those girls with no conscious effort, taking a 2-point shot, driving to the basket, making 3-point attempts, missing, but the next time they came down, they still attempted another field goal, 3-pointer, because they have the confidence. They have the self-assurance that, you know what, I'm going to make this shot, and if I don't, I'll have other opportunities to make those shots. And then with Connor, for years I coached Connor in hockey. And I'll never forget, because he's a goalie. And during those early years of him playing goalie, and in between periods, he'd be crying because he did not want to give up a goal. He did not want his team to lose. And he put a lot of stress on his own little shoulders at the time. And I would, be a coach, but I'd also be his dad at the same time. And, I come up with that silly dad phrase of, well, nobody died, right? You let in a goal, that's okay. Nobody died. Okay, so let's move on. Let's dry up those tears. But he was willing to, yes, I'm going to be very biased. I still feel that in any sport, being a hockey goalie is one of the most difficult sports positions there are out there. I mean, if you ever watch even a minor league hockey game, we're talking 70, 80, 90 mile per hour shots that a goalie is facing. But I look at Connor and the confidence he has at such a young age. And again, I did not have that type of confidence growing up as a kid. And I don't know where these kids get it. Yes, I want to say that as parents, it doesn't matter if it's bonus parents or blood-related parents, but maybe that's the influence. Or it could be just something ingrained in them. I don't know. I just don't know. And again, it's dark out. I'm driving and talking and praying at the same time that this is another day where God says, your car's going to make it. Your car's going to make it. And I want that fire. I want that drive. I want that confidence that I see others have. Somebody said to me the other day, one of my new co-workers, one of my new friends, Daniel, when he was talking about watching my TEDx talk, he said, I could never do that. I said, why? He said, it's just not what I want to do. I'd rather watch. And my recommendation to him was, that's okay, but if you ever want that type of help, let me know, because I'll help you find a Toastmaster club to help build that confidence if you ever need it. When I went to grade school and we have plays, and I'd be in plays and I'd be the one that did not have any lines in the plays. I'd create my own lines. I'll never forget one time in a play, I said something, and again, not written in the script. I heard the audience laugh. I'm like, haha, I think I'm onto something here. I don't know. I don't know. But what is it that you want to do in life? I go back to, using the world of divorce. You get divorced and you say to yourself, oh, I'm never going to date, or I don't want to date ever again. That was too painful. Well, why? There's somebody out there that's looking for you, but at the same time, you need to find out who you want to become. You need to find out what you'd rather be doing before getting back into that dating pool. One of the people I follow on Instagram, Johnny, we've struck up a friendship because I just love, it goes back to video. I love his video content out there. And in the show notes, I'll put in Johnny's link on Instagram and his podcast. He also has a podcast. But the one thing I was very drawn to is his different, I guess, filters he uses on Instagram, and his honesty when he's talking on his either stories or just video. And it turns out in March of 2018 he's getting married, and between him and his fiance, his future wife, there's 9 kids. 9 kids. And I always joke about being the Brady Bunch, but oh my gosh, Johnny and his future wife, that truly is the Brady Bunch right there. And I'm like super excited to have him on the podcast to talk about, not only he comes from his parents divorced, and he found comfort with those early 80 TV shows, and because of that loving and nurturing of a lot of the TV shows he watched, that was a teaching moment for him on how to be a loving and nurturing father. And I'm so excited to hear how TV influenced not only him being a dad, but how it's going to help him become a bonus dad, and how he can share his wisdom with us. But it all goes back to he took his shot. Even though he came from a family of divorce, he took his shot to get married. That didn't work. And then he found somebody else because he took his shot. So what is it? What is it that you'd rather be doing? I know there are people out there that just love their day job. They love the camaraderie. They love, maybe it's crunching numbers. Maybe it's working in advertising. Maybe it is working in social media. Maybe it is construction. Whatever it is, and they love it. And they don't want to do anything else. Perfect. They saw their opportunity. They took that shot. But maybe that's not you. Maybe it is that person that's working construction right now, and there's something else out there. Maybe it's I don't know, writing poetry. Maybe it's being a video blogger. Maybe it's dance. Whatever it is. HBO right now has this documentary on David Bowie. And I was rewatching it the other night, and they're showing some old footage of David Bowie. And all I'm thinking is, did he ever have a day job? Was he born and then said, I want to be a musician. That's all I want to do. I'm not going to work at a convenience store. I'm not going to work at a pub. I'm just going to be a musician. And that was the thing I really wanted to hear in this David Bowie documentary, is what his early days, what were those days like? What did he do to support himself? I mean, I'm just dumbfounded going, did he just become famous? That's it? How did he become famous, other than, what were his steps? What was his realization? What was that day like when he said, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing? And musically, you can see that in his talents, that he never did anything what everybody was doing. in this documentary, I'm watching going, I don't remember any of these albums. I don't remember if there were any popularity when these albums came out. And maybe that's my sign that I need to think about is, there is no right path. Just get on a path. And maybe that's what I need to share with you. And maybe this is me just speaking out loud and saying, everybody does it differently. One of my new favorite people that I want to learn more and more about and get one of the books about them is Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he was part of the so-called PayPal mafia with Peter Thiel. Reed Hoffman of LinkedIn. Those guys coming up with a way of people making payments over the internet. Who knew you could do that? Who knew? They founded a so-called niche and filled that niche. But with Elon Musk, he has SpaceX, he's got Tesla, he has Solar City. A lot of these are huge financial risks. But they're also risks to the ego. When he has, for example, with SpaceX, and he has rockets blowing up or rockets coming back to Earth that they're recycling and they don't land properly. They crash. That's a bruise. That's a bruise to the ego. But he's taking those chances. He's taking his shot to try and help mankind. I'm totally fascinated by reusable rockets. How does somebody come up with that idea? What was Elon doing that day? What did he have for breakfast that day? The stories of Elon Musk, and he doesn't sleep a lot, and he's just your typical quote-unquote go-getter. That's somebody, as I said earlier about my daughter Betsy, that's someone I want to emulate, if I can speak English, pronounce words. Who is it? And one of the biggest things I'm learning early here in 2018 is your mentors don't need to be somebody sitting with you physically. Your mentors can be somebody like an Elon Musk. And you see what they're accomplishing, or you read information about them, and you can take those little nuggets, as my friend Jamila would say, you take those nuggets of information and go, I could use that in my life. I can take that thought, that idea, and I can convert it somehow into my life and be able to use that to help me grow stronger, help me achieve a goal I'm trying to achieve. You'll hear me talk a lot about Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy, who used to be the editor-in-chief of Success Magazine. And normally on my drive these days, and started back in November, with having an hour and 15, an hour and 30-minute drive, I don't want to sit and listen to music. I want to be able to learn something in my car. And using one of his programs that helps me become what I hope, not just a solopreneur, but one day, as my friend Denise would say, I would graduate from being a solopreneur, in my opinion, to an entrepreneur. In my opinion, entrepreneur means that you've taken the idea of what you want to achieve, you have some mild success, and because of that mild success, you're not working your day job anymore. You're bringing in enough income to support you and your family. And it might not be $50,000, $60,000, might be just $25,000. But that's enough money to help your family. And Darren Hardy is one of those mentors in my life. His mentor was Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, oh my gosh, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins worked for Jim Rohn. And look at the success that Tony Robbins has achieved, all because he met Jim Rohn. Who's that mentor out there right now for you? And again, it might not be somebody you can actually physically meet. I don't know if I will ever meet Elon Musk. I hope to one day. I would love to have a cup of coffee with Elon Musk, if he drinks coffee. I'll drink tea. I'll drink water. I'll put a little slice of lime or lemon in my water. But realistically, I don't know if I'll ever meet Elon Musk, but he is somebody that I consider a mentor. Who can you reach out to today and either listen to a podcast of theirs or go to the local library and get their book or a book about them? Maybe even finding them on social media. Maybe there's a quote in there on social media about them that would inspire you to take your shot today. I want to take my shot. I want to have that confidence to just honestly say that this is what I'd rather be doing. Not having to get up at 10 after 4 in the morning, or in my case today, I slept in. I had no drive. Well, I mean, not that kind of drive, but I mean, yeah, I'm driving to work, but I just had no ambition to get up and go to a day job knowing that it's not fulfilling me personally, but it is serving my family by having a paycheck. And yeah, that's my Eeyore moment. But what I hope that you're possibly thinking is, well, Tommy, then do something about it. And you're right. You're right. I do need to do something about it, just like you need to do something about what is it that you'd rather be doing? What is it that drives you? What is it the reason why you would want to get out of bed? Years ago, I remember I was in this one Toastmaster club. And if you're not familiar with Toastmasters, Google Toastmasters, and Maybe find a club in your area, or go visit several clubs in your area. That reminds me, I want to see if mental note. I need to find a Toastmaster club when I go to Tampa soon. And go visit one, see if if anybody has a meeting on the weekend. Sorry, just grabbing some coffee. I can feel my voice going away. There we go. Sitting in traffic, sitting in construction traffic. I could do weather and traffic on the 10s for you. Traffic on Highway 85 here in Brighton, Colorado. Down to one lane, left lane closed. So you got to merge over to the right lane. All right. Back to the podcast. And I totally forgot where I was going. Toastmasters, drive. Crap. Or as Penny from on Big Bang Theory. Oh, crap on a cracker would say. I think my point was about. Let me. There's a great Jim Rohn quote I like to borrow from him from time to time, and I would say to people, "You're not a goose," and they're like, "You're right." What? And Jim Rohn would talk a lot about, with birds, when it comes to winter, they can only fly south. They cannot fly north. They cannot fly east. They cannot fly west. Their internal compass drives them to fly south. They don't really have a choice. You have a choice. I have a choice. Terry Crews had a choice. He stole the ball. He was all alone. He could have stolen the ball and just held on to it. But his choice was thinking, and he admits in Tim Ferris's podcast, he was already at the party, as he said. He was ready to go. But that was his choice. What is it? What is your choice today? The one thing I'm trying to be better at is, what can I accomplish in the next 24 hours? What is something in the next 24 hours you can accomplish to get you to where you want to be? Is it updating your resume? Is it updating your LinkedIn? Is it maybe phoning somebody who you haven't spoken to in years? And it's just, you just want to say hi. What is it that you can do in the next 24 hours that's going to propel you into possibly a different life? Maybe even a different tax bracket. Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe you want to write the great novel. Maybe you want to be the next David Bowie. Maybe you want to be the next Jim Carrey. I don't know. I mean, as I'm listening to myself say that, I'm going, why be the next? Why not be just you? Be the best you that you can be. And then people will say, hey, you're going to be the next you. I don't know. I just, as I'm sitting here thinking, I think of, several things. First thing that comes to mind, and it's really funny. It's really funny because this is for the guys. This is for the guys right now. Because it's really funny with ladies. And here's the example. When, my wife and I will be driving, and let's say she's driving and I'm just sitting there in the car, minding my own business, maybe listening to music on the radio, and she'll just glance over and go, "What are you thinking?" And majority of the time, we guys, ladies, we're not really thinking of anything. Maybe some sports, maybe some, other things. But for the most part, I'm just, I guess spacing out, which is okay. But right now, if my wife said to me, "What are you thinking?" I'll be like, "A lot." What can I do for you? How's that? What can I do for you that is going to help you? I want to know. And I'm going to ask, and I think I've asked this before, but in order for me to get where I want to be, I need your help. And this is where I am truly grateful. I remember when I first launched the podcast years ago. I can't think. Is it 2 years? It's been something like that. Anywho. And I saw, 1 or 2 downloads. I was like, wow, somebody downloaded something I created. Somebody took the time to not only find the podcast, had the confidence to say, "This is something I want to listen to," and listen to it. I once got an email early last year, I'll never forget, early last year, of a gentleman, and I'm blanking on the country. It was in another country, and now I really wish I could remember his name, because I'd give him a shout out right here. But oh my gosh, somebody in another country listened to my words, listened to a guest on a podcast. I'm just like so grateful. And that person not only listened, but took the time, their valuable time, to email me. And I emailed back, because that's what I like to do. I like to email back. But in that moment of time, I'm not sure if, I guess I'm looking at the grand scale of things, hoping that I help this person, hoping that because of the guest that we had on the podcast, or maybe, again, something I might have said, help their life. And that's all I want to do. I just want to serve others. And at the same time, asking your help of helping me achieve my ultimate goal of not having to work a day job, because maybe it's you listen to this podcast, and or even if you go to Blending the Family, the website, and see a blog post, or see one of the videos I have on there about my speaking, and maybe that's something, oh my gosh, again, I'm thinking out loud, and I'm thinking, and maybe I am thinking in fantasy land. But maybe you look at the video and you go, wow, we need to hire him. We need to bring Tommy into our event. I don't know. But that's, it goes back to the confidence in my mind is asking for help. And I've never, not necessarily never, let me rephrase that. I'm one of those people that it's really hard for me to ask for help. It's really hard to admit I need help. I know I need help. And especially at this new day job. I mean, I'm working in a job where I've never done the things that I'm doing. And do I see a career out of it? I don't know. I hope not, honestly. I really do. I hope that I give myself a wake-up call. I give myself the permission to say, hey, Tommy, you're not a goose. Quit flying south. Why don't you head west? Heck, why don't you head southwest? Why don't you head northeast? And maybe that's what you need as well. Maybe you need that permission. That realization of, I need to stop flying south. I need to stop thinking that this is the only path. As Yogi Berra would say, when you get to the fork in the road, take it. Maybe that's what you need to do. Take that fork in the road. It's okay to make a decision in that fork in the road. You go left. I should have gone right. That's okay. You learn. Michael Jordan talks about, he took many shots and missed many shots. But at the same time, he's got a few championships from taking shots, from taking his own shot. So what is it? What is it that's going to... What's the reason in the next 24 hours? What's the reason why you want to get out of bed other than a paycheck? What is it? You can have that day job and love your day job. And maybe you work for a company that has a lot of volunteer opportunities, but you haven't done any of those volunteer opportunities. And maybe that's what you've been thinking about doing, is I want to do some volunteer work. Maybe it's, my wife, Ann, belongs to Kiwanis. Maybe it's finding a service club to help you grow, to help you network, to help you maybe find a different path. Monday, when I was driving to work, I said to myself, I need to get on LinkedIn. I need to network with some people to see if they know of any opportunities, because until I'm making anywhere from 5,500 to 7,500 speeches, which I know I'm worthy of. I really do. But It's believing in myself. It's believing that I can say to, an event organizer, and when they come to me and say, well, what's your speaking fee? $7,500, and not blink. And have the confidence knowing that I can provide a $7,500 speech to your audience. But it's taking that shot. Maybe it's you today asking for that raise. Knowing your self-worth. Knowing that you work hard. Knowing that you do a lot for that company you work for. And it's okay. It's okay if your boss says, there's no money in the budget right now for raises. Okay. Is it that opportunity to say, all right, what can I do in the meantime to help this company? What can I do in the meantime for this company to help me grow? When it comes to, maybe there's going to be some leadership opportunities. And being able to use that experience, learning about other leadership roles, and maybe taking that next step of, if this company doesn't see my worth, then maybe I need to go somewhere else. But what is it that you can do in the next 24 hours? As I've already mentioned, Dr. Stephen Covey and Dr. Wayne Dyer, thinking from the end. It's December 31st. You've accomplished one goal. Your big, major goal that you want to accomplish. And you're smiling from ear to ear because you accomplished that goal. You didn't think you can get to that goal. But it's December 31st. You accomplished that goal. How did you get there? What were the steps? What was that aha moment where you said, you know what? I have to take my shot. This might be the last opportunity. This might be the last shot. Anyhow, anyway, anywhere, what is that goal that you want to accomplish? And, I'm guilty of this. Setting a goal, it's easy. I'll write it down, put a date next to it, and then I'll sit around and wait for that goal to happen. Instead of putting that goal in motion. And, my aha moment recently today, in this mere moments, is putting myself out there. And it's funny because I said to you earlier, I don't like video content. I'm just not. As a kid, I firmly believe I have a face for podcasting. I don't have a face for video. And it's funny as I say the words of, well, I need to put myself out there. Well, I'm putting myself out there right now with this podcast, or with my blogs, or with my books. If I really think about it, oh my gosh, I really have put myself out there. Well, Maybe I need to put myself out there more. Maybe I heard Mel Robbins once say about there's some days, and I'm totally screwing this up or paraphrasing, but there's some days you just got to get it out of your own way. And maybe that's what you need to do as well. Maybe you need to get out of your own way to accomplish that goal or to finish that project. Or I know a guy who is getting ready to propose, and he was hemming and hawing about it, about the right time. It's like, I don't know if there's ever a right time for that one. And I hope that didn't sound negative. I just think anytime you propose, that's a great time. I was in a restaurant once and witnessed the guy proposing in this restaurant, getting on his knee. That was like super cool. That was one of those moments going, oh my gosh. In a restaurant full of strangers, here you are asking the woman that you truly love, that you want to spend the rest of your days with, and you just did this in front of all these strangers. How cool is that? You know? Maybe it's asking that other person on a date. Maybe it is asking for that raise. Maybe it's having those tough talks with your kids. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to create a legacy for? You know, not just your kids, but your grandkids. What do you want to do? We are all put on this earth for a purpose. And there's, you know, two schools on this, or at least two schools. You know, you have to find your purpose, or you don't have to find your purpose. I don't know. I believe in finding your purpose. That's my thought. My purpose is serving the divorce community. My purpose is sharing with moms out there, with ladies, to let them know that quite possibly, yeah, your ex-husband is a jerk. But maybe he's a jerk to you, but maybe he's a fantastic dad. He spends time with his kids. Spends quality time with his kids. Not quantity, quality. I have a cousin I'll never forget. When I first moved to Colorado and I was living with him. And on Sundays, when he would have his daughter, who's now getting married, but I remember Sundays vividly. We'd go to Toys R Us and he'd buy her things. That's not quality time. That's quantity. That's what can I buy you your love with. You know, like I said, my purpose is I want to let more and more moms out there know that there are great dads out there that care about their kids. And even if they live in another state, maybe they live in another country. Maybe it's because of active duty. And my salute to all you military families out there. And maybe that dad can't be at every single ball game. But they do the little things to let the kids know that dads are thinking of them, dad loves them. And yeah, there's some jerk dads out there who don't do that, who don't do the right thing. But come on, it's a two-way street. I know of moms out there who left families because they want to go and do their own thing. But like I said, my purpose, my sole purpose is to share with the moms out there that dads need, even after divorce, should be part of kids' lives. I mean, that's just a fact. That's one of those duh moments if you're a Simpson fan. And, you know, not to really pick on the moms out there, but for the moms that don't feel that way, shame on you. Just like the dads that aren't around, shame on you. Kids need both parents. Even us adults, we need our moms. We need our dads. You know, regardless if they don't like each other, regardless if they don't speak to each other. Like I said, even as adults, we need our mommies and daddies. More coffee. Oh, man. All right. So let's recap. Number one, take your shot. Number two, what in the next 24 hours is it that can help you get you closer to the goal you want to achieve? And number three, as I said, I'm in the school of finding your purpose. Simon Sinek, I can never pronounce his last name, other known as the Why Guy. What is your why? What is your purpose? What is it that is going to give you the ability to serve mankind? Hello, officer. What is it that you want to leave a legacy with? Does that make sense? Legacy. What do you want your legacy to be? Take your shot. Find something in the next 24 hours that's going to get you to where you would rather be. Wink, wink, Tommy. What is your purpose? You know, even to the point of when we talk about mentorship, maybe you need to see somebody that needs your help. and you're going, I don't know how to help anybody. Ask them. Ask that person. Is there something you need help with? If they say something like, oh, I need help fixing my car, and you're like me, know nothing about cars, maybe that's something you can learn. Or maybe you know somebody that's really good at fixing cars that you can maybe bridge a connection with. Make a contact for that friend of yours. Oh, I don't know anything about cars, but my friend Mark does. Let me get in touch with Mark and let's see if Mark can come over to your house. You know? It's about serving others, in my opinion. But it all boils down to take your shot. See the open lane. Sorry to use sports analogy, but you know, again, as we started, Terry Crews, that one shot, that miss, I want to say changed his life. What shot can you take today? What is it that's going to change? Possibly your life. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for downloading. And you know what? I'm going to put myself out there. I do speak sometimes on this podcast, not very well, but you need somebody at your next organization. This is my ask. This is my ask to you is, let me help your organization. Let me come in and educate, or as the kids would say, drop some knowledge on them. What is it? So, email me, Tommy at blendingthefamily.com, Tommy at blendingthefamily.com. Website, blendingthefamily.com. There you go. You are going to change your life. I guarantee it.